So today I just kind of wanted to go over some of the fun features in Tableau. Something that you may or may not know how to do, connecting to data, cleaning up a little bit of data, making external links in Tableau, kind of creating this is what I could come up with in about an hour. So this is what we have. What I did was I took my resume and I converted it basically into an Excel sheet. It has very simple headers: company, education or experience, start dates, the location. I like to put a category on my experience. It helps me at least, and I think that it usually helps. If anyone says, "Did you have any finance experience?" I can go, "Yes, I think I was a night auditor." We'll call that finance. I also went ahead and made a very quick skills page, which I didn't actually use in my Tableau today. And then I created all of my responsibilities. I should probably knock this down to about a 5 because I could not figure out how to keep these bullets in one cell. I know that we can. I did not take that opportunity to Google. So if you guys want, I can kind of either give you this and you can have a sad version of my resume, or it's a pretty simple thing to kind of just like follow along. Well, what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and start a new Tableau. Cool. And then the way that you, again, connect to a data source, you can do it from the data header or go into the data source over there. We're going to be using an Excel file today. And I keep all my personal stuff in a aptly named personal folder on my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and open that. And then you see the 3 tabs that I have here. Starting with my experience, you can see all of my tabs, and I'm going to go ahead and connect in responsibilities and left join that on experience. The difference between all of these joins is basically how they interact with each other. If I did not have, let's say, one of the education/experience, like I didn't create any responsibilities for event specialist, creating an inner join would have excluded that completely. So I'm going to left join because I know my experience is full. That is the cutest little dog. Okay. So right here is just a new worksheet. We have our new dashboard and the thing that I never use, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out making this kind of timeline here. And the way that I'm going to do that is we have our start date and our end date, and they are already in the date functionality. I have my location here. I'm going to go ahead and also change that to be a geographical role. I happen to incorrectly label these fields. I went ahead and put a county of Broward, and I mixed in the cities of Miami and Orlando. So this is intentionally going to break on me, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my year here, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to a, let's see, I believe it's now going to be a continuous field. And I'm also going to put my company so that we can see, or I can switch this out and we can say, this is my experience. Because I worked for the same company in multiple different rows, it'll kind of look like this. I am now going to do something a little clever. We're going to create a calculated field, and I'm going to name it duration. And this is going to calculate how long I've worked at each of the locations for. Now, this is now calculating that I started here and should have ended somewhere around here. I don't actually want the duration in my tooltip though. So we're going to take that out. And I'd also like to show the start and end times. And I'm okay with these overlapping because we're going to grab correctly. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take away company. And it looks like I have my end time over my start time. So we're going to fix that. And I'd rather see the months on it as well. These are a little disjointed. I think they're doing an alphabetical order right now. So I'd rather sort it. And then it's just a right click on a field. I'm going to do descending order and start date. Aggregation of minimum. All right. Now it kind of has what I'm actually seeing. And because we have this joined a couple of different times, it was calculating my duration, I think 3 folds, which is just not correct. I also kind of want to put in just a line. I want to have a reference line of of today. And that's going to just show up there and be today anytime. All right. So now it'll always show the value instead of what it had been, which is the minimum of today. Or we could do none or a custom here. So I'm going to keep that. And now you have a little timeline of what I worked on. Something that we could have also do is throw on categories. It's way too many colors for me or the company. And you can see that there was a time frame that I was working at 2 companies. I also hate these colors, so I'm not going to use that at all. Let's see. What else I can do here is we can just grab the responsibilities or make our map. Now I'm going to go ahead and make our map because I made it a little broken the first time. So if I just throw on a location, it'll actually make a map for you. I'm going to go ahead and drop that onto my label. And down here, it's telling me that I have 3 unknowns because, again, I incorrectly put the cities of Miami and Orlando, and then the county of Broward. So we can just fix that by right-clicking or not right-clicking, left-clicking, and then going to edit locations. It's picking up that this is the United States, but I'm going to go ahead and fix it so that everything is in Florida now. And this is telling me that Broward isn't recognized. So I live in Hollywood. And my remote job is technically in Hollywood. So we now have these correctly placed. I'm going to go ahead and grab in my responsibilities. And this little ABC will come up anytime you don't actually have a value, a numeric value. Something that I could do is put in the company, and that looks terrible, or put in the company right here. It looks better, especially how I had set up the data. We could also just grab in this, but I'm going to try to be clever a little bit later. So one of the ways that you can, there's I think 3 ways you can get rid of this ABC. And one of them is just continually moving this line until it's basically hidden. That is my preferred way to get rid of the ABC. And so, yeah, we have, see, our 3 things, and I'm pretty sure that's basically my sheet that I have here. The only other things that I've done, I made a section that shows all of the companies. Let's go here. I'll rename these so that I stop getting confused. Let's see. Experience. I'll name this one map. And then we can name these.
The crowd is going wild. I don't know if you're reading the chat. Shalini likes it. I think it's cool. It's very cool.
Cool. I actually have no idea how to get to the chat from this view. So I'm so sorry. Please let me know if there's any questions.
No, that was the only thing. But it is very cool. This is really great.
I think that I necessarily clicked enter on my Excel sheet. So null is going to come up. I'm just going to hide that. We don't need that. This is the title of the sheet. You can just whatever you want there. Very not necessary. And what we can do is a lot of times I don't want to see these headers. They make it look a little unclean, especially if this is named the same as your sheet. So I end up hiding my field labels very often. What's something else? This education and experience, I am also going to not want to see this because we kind of already have that. So be careful compared to what I am with your sizing. I have not found a good way to make one column a different size than the other columns. I'm pretty sure they have to remain equal. And that means that if you grab out this first column to here, everything is going to be that size. Yeah. So what I want to do though, is I kind of went ahead and downloaded a bunch of different pictures that represent these entities. And you can find those in, you can find how to save these in your documents, my Tableau repository, and then I usually save everything in shapes. Today I named everything resume, so I can find all of these. I just grabbed them off the internet in the hour I was making this Tableau and saved them as, I think almost all of them are PNGs. Yeah, so your average, some of them are JPEG, so they all work. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this from the automatic text that you have here into a shape. and I can press Control and grab this company, and we'll see if Tableau likes me today. And this is going to give everything a different shape as well as duplicate this field. Saves you a ton of time. Very much recommend getting in the habit of pressing Control when you want to make this, say, also a color and size. I do not want those things, so I'm not going to do that. You can change your shape now, either from over here and press Edit Shape, or just kind of click on the shape marks. If you have saved a bunch of things into your Tableau repository, just press Reload Shape. But I can see here that I have a resume folder created. So I can easily just, thankfully I've worked at these places, so I know what their symbols are. And then we are just going to make this a little bigger. Awesome. Rename so you're not confused. Company icons. And this time, I'm probably going to want to get rid of the sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the title because I actually do kind of want the names. Anyways, we're now ready to make our dashboard. Something that I really find helpful is starting out knowing your setup for your dashboard. I know that I'm going to want at least multiple rows, and I'm probably going to want a couple of columns. I usually put at least a horizontal bar at the top because I know I'm going to want an icon and probably a title. So what I'm going to do is I typically start out with vertical and then put into horizontal. And I probably like put in a blank as a placeholder. Today, I want, let's see. I want to grab in my responsibilities. I'm going to check to make sure that I did this right. I'm going to select, go here, and you can select which, the next layer up of your containers. So I actually don't want this title either. So I'm going to rename this. Name. We will rename the top one title. And this is just a blank placeholder for me. I'm going to grab in another sheet, and it's my map. And that looks silly to have the map there. I think I'm going to just put my experience in the straight center. Let's format this title. And I really like to have a slightly gray bar and some white text. I'm always going to have the same, if I have changed the font, you need to change it on everything else or it's going to look absolutely dreadful. But I'm going to see if I can't make this a little prettier. Great. I'd also kind of want to make this bigger. Fantastic. And the map is too big. You know what? Let's put that title back on. And we're going to go ahead And we can now format the title again. Yeah. Now up here, always like to make sure this is going to be my horizontal bar. So I'm going to go ahead and warn you that working in tiled containers, it's very tricky. However, if you put everything as a floating, there's a very good chance that it's going to shift on you when you post it anywhere. So it takes a little bit of time to figure out how your tiled is going to work, but it takes a lot less frustration at the end. And that's why I'm going through and I'm making sure that I know which. I also very much dislike the tiled views. They kind of drive me insane. I go ahead and actually write out what is going on. So I can find them, I can move them around. Everything's a little bit easier in the long run. So for up here, I am going to put in a couple of things. Let's see, I want my company icons, and I do not want them to have their remove. Okay. I specifically don't want this legend, right? And I don't want the title. I would like, however, somebody to be able to navigate to my LinkedIn. So I'm going to go ahead and put in an image. And my target URL, which, cool. Don't have that up. I'm going to steal it from my other Tableau. This is just the link to my LinkedIn. And I want to fit and center that. Way too big, we'll worry about that in a minute. I would also like an email link. Fit, center. And something really cool, you can actually make a link that just will email you, and you can write out the body, you can write out the subject, you can write out the who it's to. And you're going to use the mail to, which I just learned how to say properly. But it's going to be mail to my email. The subject is going to be about your Tableau resume. Okay, and then when I click that, subject line's there and my to is there. Really helpful. I put that as my help, the Tableau broke, please assist me, for my company. And no one's clicked on it. So apparently my Tableau hasn't broken, or that mail to is broken.
Oh wait, you're saying you use that, I'm sorry, you use that in real life on your dashboards, like,
Yep.
That's very cool. That's really cool.
Yep. Yeah, so it's very helpful for somebody who may not want to read the overview. They see the little mail icon and they can just click that. Or I often will put in a just words and create a little highlight, and then you can do a URL link. Same thing with these dashboard actions. You can URL link to wherever you need to go. I prefer to use the images because you can kind of make them a little bit nicer, more drawn to the eye. I'm also going to throw in some text. Go ahead and say that I am more important than the puny text you have given me. Okay. And I'd like that to actually fit. So thanks. And it looks like this is floating. It is not floating. What is floating? You're floating. I'm just going to aggressively be mad about that floating thing and redo that. All right. Yep, that works. Great. One last thing I put in my other dashboard is a little synopsis of who I was and why you should care about me. That's why you should care about me. And I have had so many virtual meetings lately that it's always nice to just have a little picture. It's why we have it on our LinkedIn. It's why we have it on kind of like your Teams view or things like that. Still really like the picture of the dog. I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to input one last image here. And you don't actually have to target anything. You can just have it as an image. So what we're going to do now is I would like whenever somebody clicks on this button, it actually filters my responsibilities. So we can do that in a variety of different ways, but my favorite is just to be using everything as a filter. So now, if you click on the Manager Operations Analyst, you can see that this was the company of Marriott. And these were all of my responsibilities while I worked in Broward. Conversely, that shouldn't have happened. Conversely, if I had planned my formatting a little better, when you click Anthony's Coal-Fired Pizza, it'll shift all of my other experience and responsibilities. Now, what I can end up doing with this is you can then post it onto your Tableau public, which is kind of just like a nice accumulation of all the things that you've made. That's my LinkedIn. So after you post it, it's going to look something like this. You can put in some more detail. You can name it, detail it. I've actually included all 5 sheets that we made here. Oh yeah, I also put in the Tableau specialist on the other one. And I stopped sharing my screen. But if you go to just a Tableau public, my profile, you can see that I've posted now 3 things here. I don't often do things recreationally. Most of my things are for my company, so I don't often have the time to play around with this. But how you post things is you'd go to your server And then there's actually a nice little Tableau public down here, super easy. And then you save to Tableau public as, or just save to Tableau public. There's a manager profile here or any of those things. If I press save as, it's probably opening something somewhere. Cool. And then it'll just tell me so I wanted to go over why my dashboard was changing. It was because there was a floating dash in there and it kind of messed everything up. So yeah, really simple. The publish is complete, took about 5 seconds to have it there. And then anybody could go in and look at my stuff. There's a link to my certification. They can reach my LinkedIn or email me. I do not ever suggest putting your address, like your full address or your phone number. I will accept the spam that will come because this email is my spam email. So yeah, that is what I wanted to show you guys today though.
I think it's great. I really, that was really cool. I don't know if other people have questions or ideas for like, yeah, oh, Shalene, go ahead. Shalene, we can't hear you if you're talking. Sorry. Also, I only have a Tableau public profile. I don't have a Tableau server. So okay. Everything we built is Tableau public. Oh, Susan wants to know if they can have access to your Tableau public, and Shalene's not sure why their mic isn't working.
Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, but of course you can have access to my Tableau public. Yeah, so you can download any of the things that I have made, and one of the ways that I learned how to do Tableau is following along with people and trying to recreate what they've done. The workout Wednesdays were really fun, and I have about 30 unfinished ones that helped me kind of create like how to do things basically. And then I figured it out and I couldn't figure out like the last little bit and I never posted it to my Tableau public.
And Shalene also wants to know, can you show again how you made the dashboard into 3 segments?
Sure. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new dashboard. And the way you're going to do that is just take a vertical.
I think you need to share one more time.
Oh, yep, that'd be helpful. Cool. So to make a new dashboard, really simple. We click new dashboard. You look at your objects over here, and I would grab in a vertical. I really suggest making sure it's on tiled rather than floating. If you do floating, you're going to have those issues that I had a little bit earlier where I clicked something and everything moved on me and it wasn't what I wanted and it was terrible. So I'm going to go ahead and drop in whatever I want. It could be 3 blank placeholders or some horizontal. And now I just have a variety of rows sitting here. I typically like to put in my horizontal and vertical bars and then kind of fill them up with blanks while I wait for me to bother to make sheets. So there's a lot of other very simple, but things that could really make this pop. Again, this is what you can easily do in about 30 minutes to an hour. Most of the time that it took me to make this dashboard was actually just converting my resume into Excel. Any other questions that I can help assist with?
Nothing yet.
Still,
Nothing yet.
still don't know how to get to chat, guys. So sorry.
It's definitely on the bottom. It's definitely there.
Okay.
The bottom. But yeah, there's no other questions. Oh, next question. In the resume dashboard, if I need to know how much Tableau experience you have, do I see description?
So what we can do, what is this on my resume too? So what we can do is actually edit the image, and I want to say this will give me a floating tooltip. Let's experiment. No, but it will give me the badge there. This might be an either or, but we could create tooltips anywhere in this. And that will actually bring it up everywhere. Something else that we could have done is brought in our skills and experience and match those up so that, let's see. So I didn't put any skills for any of these. And then I don't want this as an attribute. Cool. Okay, I don't think this one's gonna actually work the way I want it to either. This is just gonna give me a count of my skills. Kenny, you wanna help me out there? I have 6 skills instead of being helpful. Well, that's okay, Kenny. I appreciate you.
He's on his phone.
He's playing crosswords. Yes, it is possible. And a lot of what I do is click around or Google things.
Yeah.
Or I ask my colleague Kenny because he is helpful in most everything. Tableau is one of those programs that's super simple to use, and you can find so much information just by Googling. And the Tableau forums, absolutely fantastic. Most everything that I know is from the forums. Short answer is yes, you can definitely put in your skills there. No, I do not know how to do it off the top of my head.
Sam, was
So
it not letting you change your skills to dimensions or to discrete?
yeah, it's still like a count though. So I just made it mad. So when I'm putting it into like the tooltip, it's changing it to an attribute, which I don't want it to be. Let's see if minimum skills works. My minimum skill is Excel because I have that as a 5 right now. If I were to change it to maximum, I bet it's going to show me Tableau. Nope. So this skills, I want to say I set it up so that there's a proficiency here. Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening there. It's ranking it based on the proficiency that I gave. There's a lot of things that we could necessarily do that isn't me just playing around with that one sheet. We can go in and hide my nulls and then say that I do want to show the proficiency without the sum. I don't want the sum. So this is now a direct correlation of my actual skills and the job title that I had. Again, I only filled this out for one job. But what we could necessarily do here is tooltip and then insert sheet 5. And then it will show that page that I just made in my tooltip. A little hard to see here because I didn't make that too great. What we can do is kind of clean this up. So let's hide that. Let's hide this. You know what? I don't need to see that either. Okay. I don't need this one. I don't want that header either. So now you actually have now you have my skills in this segment as its own sheet view. So there's workarounds to anything you can't really figure out how to do if you think outside the box on it. Especially when you panic about somebody asking you how to do something and you can't remember how to do it. So I'm super curious. Like, do you guys, are you in the field or are you trying to get into like data analytics or data visualization, or what brought you here today?
Oh, so it's not letting people use the microphone, unfortunately, I guess. Okay, so I think it's Shalini who said, I just finished a BI certification and like the Tableau part so much and I want to involve more. How often do you meet? So I don't know how often. I think it's at quarterly, but I think, is that every 3 months, right? Like, I think every 3 months, but you could, I don't know.
So we had started this right before the pandemic, and then we ended up canceling our scheduled series. So you actually caught us on the first one back. So that's why I threw together this presentation. I thought it showed a couple of really cool little features, how to build a dashboard, how to create some sheets, how to manipulate some data. And we're kind of figuring out if we want to meet quarterly. I believe that's what's suggested. We could meet up to like once a month. I don't know that any, I don't think any more frequently would be advised.
Shalini wants to know also, can they email you if they have more questions and you'd
Of
like
course.
career guidance? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You guys now have my email.
I said thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, they're asking what your bank PIN is and your social. No, they're not asking. I'm just joking.
You know, unfortunately, I don't know my bank PIN, so already stolen. And I did figure out how to open up the chat. See,
Oh, okay.
learning.
Oh, cool.
And then, yeah, I think you're still like in college right now, right? Like did you come to our first session? The name was Susan?
No, actually, I remember like the first session that you guys scheduled was day back April or May last year. I remember it was scheduled in the library at Broward College, right?
Mhm.
Actually, I signed up to attend to, but because the COVID and then it got canceled, so I wasn't
Gotcha.
able to go. Yep. I was super excited to join today's meeting as well. Yep.
Yeah, I think we ended up having one session before.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I didn't go. I guess probably at that time I still haven't joined Broward College, so that's why I wasn't aware of it.
Yep. Nice. Well, yeah, if you guys have any kind of project ideas, I'd be happy to go over them next time, or we could bring in some other users who may have some cool things that they want to show you, or if you want to kind of have a practice to getting you certified in Tableau, we can go over some of the key things there.
That sounds really cool, right? Like go through the topics on like a certain exam and showing, right? Like just a quick version of, okay, here's how you do that function by function. That'd be very cool.
No, so that's certainly something that we can do next go around. Is that's how I prepared for the certification. Is I took a couple of practice exams and I just did them out on the grabbed in the Excel and tried to write them out, and I mean I passed, so I guess it worked. So yeah, that would be very cool.
And then we also, if we have obviously facilities on campus, like for when it opens up. So maybe next time could be in person, or with like a virtual option also, right? Because now that we have Zoom, it'd be really easy to. A lot of the rooms have like additional cameras set up, so you could see, you could have multiple camera angles of like the people in the room and the screen, and so that's an option. Although this is so much easier, I think.
And the e-learning in the Tableau site, it's awesome. It's definitely a starting place. And then the best way to learn is truly to just like start doing. You're gonna immediately come up with things that you have no idea how to work through. You'll end up Googling it. You can find a bunch of resources. There's thousands of hours on the e-learning in Tableau, and then just people loving it so much that they created YouTubes about it. Yeah. Your OneDrive interacting. So I often actually will put my Tableaus into OneDrive in order to share between coworkers. So I'm not sure how your OneDrive is messing up your desktop, your Tableau desktop. I know that it will interact. You can see, I'm going to go ahead and create a new file here. Cool. And what I could do is say a new data source. And then, okay. So if we go to here, you can see all of the things that I've recently had open. Or you might be referring to my like a file recovery here. These are all the things that I didn't save properly and just gave up on. So this is the data source page when you first open up a file. And then if I were to say, like, I want to connect to a file and I wanted something that wasn't one of these options, it'll after you open one file, the first one data source shows all files. Okay. So what I'm hearing is if you were to connect into a file, you're seeing multiple files here? Or you're saying that there's multiple sheets? There's multiple files. So what you could do is you have the option of adding. So let's see. None of these are good. All right. So you're having a problem where there are multiple connections here. What you can do is you can click this and see the remove button. It shouldn't automatically connect to every data source you've ever connected to. But there is opportunities for you to add connections and not need them anymore. It shows us as files. Can you like take a screenshot maybe and throw it in chat? There is a chance you're just seeing all of the options that you can bring in, and that it hasn't actually brought that in yet. So you could be seeing something like this, and it's maybe showing you that you have all of these options.
What happens if you click on, I'm just guessing. If you click on Excel, it looks for any, it's going to go to like the Windows open file. Is that what you mean? I'm wondering if that's what you mean. No, okay. I didn't think so. I was just joking.
Yeah, feel free to maybe like you can email me and kind of give me a sense of what you might be seeing. I'd be happy to look through it. But I can't necessarily think of what might be going on. But yeah, guys, are there any other questions? Because we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Give you some time back, go enjoy some dinner. And I'm going to plan on meeting next quarter, and we'll start going through some how to do the certification exam. Yeah, my tips for you guys is definitely check out Tableau's Workout Wednesday, Makeover Monday. There's something about sports on Thursday, I think, or Sunday. That makes more sense. Those are really cool to do. Really recommend them. Really will amp up your ability to play with this.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining.
You're great. It was great.
Awesome. Well, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you very much.